But first, Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be on the show. Tony Drexel Smith, happy to be here.
And I'm glad you're here. All right, you have got some press release, a press release that came out. But before we get into the press release and the body of that, give the audience a background on who we're speaking with, and then tell us more about what Blue Moon Advisors does.
Sure. I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years. As an entrepreneur in my younger years in the restaurant business, I learned quickly it's very difficult to get access to capital. So while in college, I shifted my degree choice to business finance and started learning about how to package financing deals. By 1995, I was doing it for a living. 5 years later, I sold my restaurant and was full-time as a business finance consultant for folks, building business plans, performance valuations, and putting together financing packages. From the years 2000 and 2008, I spent those 8 years learning every type of business finance there is, so that when I worked with entrepreneurs, I was clear and understood what was the best type of capital for their situation and ensure that they were qualified for it and that we put together the right package, whether it's debt or equity or any of the 45 different ways to finance a business, especially early stage. In 2008, I began to study the long-term effects of the types of capital people were engaged in and started to develop a series of processes to determine and identify what is success. I mean, a company got financed, but did it stay in business? What was the exit? Did they end up closing out? And so for nearly 10 years, I studied 300 companies that we were directly engaged with, and ultimately created a process we call the Capital Readiness Report, which assesses nearly 300 different attributes that we find are the commonalities amongst successful companies. And we published that in January, and we now use that as our primary tool to first see and evaluate a new company or even a growing or existing company that's seeking capital. And we use those attributes as our tools through the software we've developed, and we've now, over the last 8 years, we've been 75% correctly predicting companies' success or failure.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I need to send you my pitch deck after that conversation.
Please do. Happy to see it.
All right, let's drill down a little bit, if we can, into the fund readiness evaluating system. I want to hear more about that.
Sure. So we refer to it as the CRR, the Capital Readiness Report. It's 10 sections. And what we've done is we've built a software system around it so that it's both objective and subjective. It's objective in that there's a score attributed to each section, and it's subjective in that we have trained over 85 people on how to read our system and apply it to an applicant that's seeking capital. And what the system does is it generates a score. It also helps determine the best type of capital for the situation or stage of development the company's in, and it gives us that predictability as to whether they're destined for success or failure. And we ultimately write a 21-page report in 5 to 10 business days that tells the client, we think you are on the right path or the wrong path in terms of your business in general, and we can deliver a prediction about that. We can also give them a hard score. So it's from 0 to 1,000. The one commonality we found is that companies that were funded an average of $1 million and stayed in business for at least 3 years or had a positive exit and repaid their lenders and investors, the one commonality amongst all those companies, they scored a 925 or better out of 1,000. And so one great tool that the CR provides for us is it's a coaching tool in that for companies that have not yet achieved a 925, we can score them and then show them where they're strong, where they're weak, and then give them advice to try to see if they can earn a 925. If we feel there are too many holes to even achieve 925, then the CR serves its purpose by telling the client that we really think they should either make a pivot to their business or maybe not even pursue it because they may waste time and money.
Do you help them with that pivot?
Absolutely. That's the core of our business.
Okay.
Blue Moon Advisors really has 3 different services. We start every project with the Capital Readiness Report, and then the second phase is to provide those pivots and help and provide them advice. The reason we're called Blue Moon Advisors is we've built a database of hundreds and hundreds of industry experts around the world so that when clients come to us, we can be industry agnostic, we can be capital agnostic, and ultimately just try to provide them the best advice and services and try to find the right people that can get them in the right place. And then third is we manage a virtual portal system where we've identified 14 main business finance documents that most every company should have, and we maintain those on a monthly basis through a subscription model so that when you're actually raising capital, you can send investors to our managed virtual portal and see accurate, updated documents at any given time.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. How many
Thank
companies have you guys run through so far?
Well, just in the last 8 or 9 years, we've done well over 300. We typically see about 500 to 600 referrals a year, anywhere from 15 to 20 a week. And we do an initial assessment where we meet with them, we do an initial call, and then we put them through what we call the initial capital readiness report, which is a shorter version. And then we ask them if they'd like to do the full-blown report, and if they do, we go ahead and do that. And last year we completed 104 capital readiness reports. Of those 104, we completed 60 complete business finance packages with all 14 documents. And of those, we have 38 that are now in the managed virtual portal just from last year alone. And of those, we saw somewhere around $44 million get raised in various types of capital.
That's great. What stage? We have like a minute left, and I've got 1,000. This isn't your last time on the show. If it's up to me, I mean, you can come back. I've got a million questions, but real quick, what stage does a company need to be at before they can come to you? Because sometimes it's just you're too early.
No. In fact, we spent 10 years trying to create the capital readiness report to be a system that is useful to any entrepreneur, because I want entrepreneurs to make good decisions. So our system can help an idea stage person, early stage seed capital, all the way up to we currently are managing 3 projects that are already publicly traded companies.
Okay, and so it doesn't matter, private to and through publicly traded companies for you?
Roger that. Yes, sir.
That's great. All right, I'm going to send you my pitch deck. I'll talk to you soon.
Great, Michael. Thanks for the call.
I'm so glad to have met you, Tony. We'll talk to you soon.
I'm sure we will again. Thank you, sir.
You're
Bye for
welcome.
now.
All right, that was Tony Drexel, CEO, Blue Moon Advisors, bluemoonadvisors.com. We're going to take a brief break right now. When we come back, we'll be talking to Rory Cutaia, CEO of Infuse, NFUSZ. Segment has been brought to you by, I'm going to take this one, WFN1.